Once you finish creating your character, you'll have your first keyframe. And what you want to go ahead and do is make a group in your layers so you can put all of these layers into one folder. So you can use this icon at the bottom of the layers that looks like a folder to create a new group, or you could also use the option arrow and create a new group. Label this so you know what it is by saying keyframe 1 or whatever is, appropriate for what you're doing, or maybe you want to say it's the start of your action. Then hold the shift key and click the first layer all the way down to the last layer and drag them into that one folder. Now you can toggle it on or off so you could see all of the layers or just the folder by clicking the little arrow next to it. I'm in CS4, so it's a little bit different than you. In order to move my character, I have to select all of these layers, or I can use the option arrow and I can link the layers that are in my group. You can also use an icon at the bottom like this if you have it, link layers, or the option arrow, link layers. Now they all have a little chain link that's to the right, which means they're connected. And when I use the move tool, the arrow with the crosshair, then I can move my character. For my second keyframe, I'm going to duplicate this group. So you can go to the option arrow and say duplicate group. Label it so you know what keyframe this is. And you can work on animating your character a little bit. So you have to change everything slightly to your next keyframe. So what's the change in action from this point to your next? I'm going to go ahead and move my character after I link all of these together. They're linked. Up in the air, because my character is going to be moving upward. So I'm moving from the bottom of my screen to the top of my screen. And then I'm going to work on changing something on part of my character so it looks like he's moving. So for that I need to unlink all of these layers. So to break the link, you can select one at a time and then unlink them. Or you can hold down the shift key and unlink layers. Okay, now you're going to work one layer at a time. So remember, to change a shape to move a shape, you use the path selection tools. I am going to change my arms and my legs. I actually have my arms and my legs together. So if I want each arm to move by itself, I need to break them out onto different layers. So I'm going to do that right now and then I'll come back to you. Okay. Now I have my arms and my legs broken out into separate layers. So if you want to rotate something to make it look like it moved from one place to the next, then you need to go to Edit, Transform, and Rotate. And what you'll see if I zoom in a little bit is you have a kind of crosshair or marker point which tells you where this is going to be rotating from. So if I want my foot to look like it's moving or kicking or lifting up, I need to move this point back to the end of my leg, and when I rotate it's going to move from that point. So it's going to look like it's kicking outward. Then double click and set your transformation. If I want his right leg to move out in a similar fashion, I would do Edit, Transform, Rotate. Move this center point where it's rotating off of, where it's pivoting from, and then go ahead and move his leg out. And let's have his arms change and move down too. You could also do Control T for transform. Move this point and have his arm rotate a little bit down. I think I stretched it a little bit, so let me do that. If you hold shift, it's going to rotate at specific angles, so 15-degree intervals. And I'll go to my right arm and do the same. Pivot off the bottom and rotate his arm down.